In part 2 of this syllabus review video, we're going to continue exploring the syllabus, focusing on key parts. So we left off from part 1 of this video, we left off with the required text. So you're required to buy 3 texts for this class. These texts will not be included on our Blackboard site. So I won't provide digital copies of these texts. One is Octavia Butler's Kindred. Then we have Carol Capek's RUR, and then H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds. And you may order the books online from the QCC's bookstore website, which you can just click on right there on the syllabus. And all the other readings, though, are posted on the course's Blackboard page. So now we move on to course policies. So I'm going to focus on a few of these very important policies. So the first policy is netiquette. Just as there are different ways to dress and act depending on the situation, there are different ways to communicate. Writing is quite similar, requiring us to follow conventions or guidelines of communication depending on what we are writing and to whom we're writing. Since we will be writing for class, for each other, and for the professor in the online learning environment of Blackboard, our writing will be formal, academic writing. So to create a respectful and academic online atmosphere, we'll follow these guidelines called netiquette. So the first guideline involves using proper English, paying attention to grammar, punctuation, and spelling, even when you email me. Profanity is never acceptable. Also avoid slang. Avoid acronyms like BTW, LOL, etc., or emoticons or emojis. Writing in all caps is shouting, so please no shouting. Do not overuse exclamation points, something that I am guilty of in my online writing. Think before you write. Ask yourself if your message is coherent. If you're not sure, read it to someone else before posting or sending it. Make sure you're clear and concise. Use short paragraphs, 3 to 5 sentences each. They're much easier to read online. Proofread, and proofread. Use the spelling and grammar checker that comes with your word processor, then paste your comments into the content box or email. When you email me, be sure to include your name and course number in both the subject heading of the mail and the body of your message. Also be aware that your message is really a letter from you to the professor to me. Be clear and concise in your writing, avoiding informal texting language. Use formal academic language, beginning the message with Dear Professor Rothman and ending with Sincerely. Next, we move on to participation and attendance. So even though this course is online, it will be interactive and require a high level of participation. Completion of all online assignments is required. Since this is an asynchronous class, I'll not keep track of your presence at meeting times like in a traditional face-to-face classroom. Instead, participation in class will now require working online weekly, submitting quizzes, activities, journal entries, and responses to the discussion board forum topics as described below in course assignments and grading, and listed in the schedule. In other words, your completion of these online assignments will let me know you're participating and engaged in the class. So if you miss more than 15% or about 2 weeks worth of these weekly assignments, you're at risk of failing the course. Essentially, do the work each week. Complete your readings and online assignments because, yes, they really do count. But if circumstances arise that cause you to miss this work and fall behind, please talk to me. I'm here to help, but I can only help if I know that you need it. Academic integrity policy. Academic honesty is expected of all students. Any violation of academic integrity is taken extremely seriously. The following is the Queensborough Community College Policy on Academic Integrity. It is the official policy of the college that all acts or attempted acts that are violations of academic integrity be reported to the Office of Student Affairs. At the faculty member's discretion and with the concurrence of the student or students involved, some cases, though reported to the Office of Student Affairs, may be resolved within the confines of the course and department. The instructor has the authority to adjust the offender's grade as deemed appropriate, including assigning an F to the assignment or exercise, or in more serious cases, an F to the student for the entire course. For additional information regarding the college's integrity policy, you can click there and it will take you to the QCC academic integrity policy directly. Plagiarism. As defined by the college's policy on academic integrity, plagiarism is the act of presenting other people's ideas, research, or writings as your own. In accordance with the definition, you are committing plagiarism if you copy the work of another person and turn it in as your own, even if you have the permission of the person. Whenever you rely on the words or ideas of other people in your written work, you must acknowledge the source of the words or ideas. The plagiarist destroys trust among colleagues, which is integral to the safe communication of research and work products. To assist in the detection of intentional or unintentional plagiarism, we'll use a digital detection program called Turnitin. You'll be asked to upload your formal essays to Turnitin so that your work can be checked against web pages and databases of existing essays. Although you may never have engaged in intentional plagiarism, many students do incorporate sources without citations. This program can help you better understand when citations are needed. Please consider the use of the program as a learning tool. So next we have the late submission of work. In the workplace, failure to complete reports, projects, and other assigned tasks on time can result in a loss of clientele, reprimands, missed opportunities for advancement, reductions in pay, and even termination. Likewise, there are consequences for missed deadlines in this course. Late work will be subject to a 5% reduction on your total score for each day the assignment is late. However, responses to the discussion forum will not be accepted late for any reason. In the event of an emergency, or if you are having difficulty with an assignment or experience circumstances that will prevent you from submitting work on time, please speak with me as soon as possible. The withdrawal deadline for this course is December 14th. And you can read that little section on sexual harassment being prohibited. You can read that on your own. So we have course assignments and grading. Of course, we start with the reading assignments, but that's just the beginning. We'll also have quizzes in this course. They'll be given on a weekly basis to ensure that you have a working knowledge of the course's content. And there are going to be 8 quizzes in total, with each quiz contributing 5 points to your overall grade for the course. There'll also be online activities, reflection letters, and a course survey as well. There's also an online journal, which will be informal writing. So it's a journal that you'll be keeping online. And you can click there to see how you can submit your journal. There are going to be 12 journal entries in total, with each entry contributing 10 points to your final grade. I also have a rubric which illustrates how I will grade the journal entries. You can take a look at that on your own. I look at these 3 criteria: critical thinking, timeliness, and quality of prose. But be sure to look at that rubric, and if you have any questions, you can always email me or post them on in the class questions forum. Next, we have the discussion board. So the discussion board is like a virtual classroom where we will be meeting twice a week to discuss the readings, topics, and course content. If you're not familiar with the discussion board, you can click here on the syllabus, and it will take you to a video which will show you how to post on the discussion board. So you'll have a main post, which is where you'll be replying to my question or topic, and then you will reply to a peer. So the main post will be 200 to 250 words. But when you reply to your peer, you do not have to write a 200 to 250 word response. Again, the discussion board, these will not be accepted late because the discussion board is kind of like a discussion in real time. So if you post late to the discussion board, your peers will have already moved on to the next discussion forum, and they will not return back to an old forum to see what you have posted. So actually, each forum will close 24 hours after the deadline of where you reply to your peer. So I have here the criteria and a rubric in which these discussion board posts will be graded. The criteria are critical thinking, connections, creativity, timeliness, stylistics, and the contribution to the learning community. You can take a look at the rubric and the criteria on your own. And again, if you have any questions about that, you can email me or post them in the class questions forum. Of course, there will also be formal essays. So all of the writing that you'll do for the activities, the quizzes, and the journal entries and discussion board posts will serve as the foundation of our formal writing assignments, one of which will be called the adaptation assignment, and then there will be a literary analysis. So for each formal assignment, you'll produce rough drafts that will either be workshopped with the tutor in the Center for Tutoring and Academic Services, or CTAS, or they'll be posted to the discussion board and class wiki to receive critical feedback from your peers. So the adaptation assignment may be revised if you receive a grade of C or lower, but you will not be able to revise the literary analysis because it will be due at the end of the semester. All the essays, the formal essays, will be submitted to Turnitin links on Blackboard on the day and time of the assignment's due dates. No late essays will be accepted. There will be opportunities for extra credit, but I suggest focusing on the mandatory assignments. If you put your time and effort into those assignments, you won't have to worry about extra credit, because there's actually no way that extra credit can make up for or take the place of an assigned work, such as a formal essay. Also, be sure to keep copies of the work that's submitted in case something goes wrong with the submission process when you submit your work to Blackboard. So we have here a section on grading. This is the QCC homepage's little section on the grading system, and you have a brief summary there on the syllabus. You could take a look at that on pages 9 and 10. And our course will adhere to the QCC's grading system. I have here a breakdown of the coursework and the points earned. And to convert points into letter grades, I use this formula. The number of points that a student has, I multiply that by 100, and I divide that by the total number of points for the class, which is 550 points. And the chart converts points into letter grades. So I have the chart there. Also keep in mind that simply doing the coursework does not guarantee you'll receive a passing grade for the course. So grades and point values are determined by the quality of the work, not the quantity. For instance, to get the full point value for the adaptation assignment, which is worth 100 points, the quality of the essay must be outstanding. And this is true for all assignments. In this course, keep my teaching philosophy in mind. A successful course involves the whole class actively participating in the work, being motivated and engaged. The class makes the course. And you're the class, you make the course. As co-learners, we can teach one another and learn from one another. And as individual learners, we can develop our thinking and grow as human beings. So getting an A for the course means more than simply making sure we have 550 points at the end of the semester. Getting an A really suggests excellence regarding not only the general work of the course, but also in the respect we have for one another as co-learners and fellow human beings, and most importantly, in the commitment and effort to our own learning. A students usually motivate themselves and others, take responsibility for their learning, and are generally not content to do the minimum. Then we have a section on student support services that you can take a look at on your own. And that's it for this video. I know this video is almost 15 minutes long, a lot longer than I intended it to be. But if you have any questions about the syllabus, please feel free to contact me via email, or again, you can post those questions in the class questions forum on the discussion board. Bye now.